Okay, so I want to touch upon the New Zealand shooting again. And so I just watched a clip of Fox News through one of the channels that I watch, and it's not Fox. It's a guy who does commentary, and he likes to focus on the violent propaganda rhetoric that Fox News likes to the uh, Fox News likes to spout in the same way that Breitbart and the Daily Stormer and the Daily I mean the Daily Stormer and other channels like that, as well as Savage Nation, a channel that keeps popping up on my YouTube channel, even though my stance and everything else, the channels that I pick are clearly not in line with the criminal activities of the white supremacists, the neo Nazis, and alt right, and so on and so forth. Uh, and the Savage Nation is another one of those. So, I also, you can clearly see, and algorithms must be either stupid or they're not, and they're not either that or they are being controlled, because there's no way that when you're watching a left progressive channels, and you see PragerU pop up. So, but this particular Fox News one had Mick Mulvaney. Now, many on the left know who Mick Mulvaney is. He's an abject criminal. He's an evil, evil bastard. He should be in jail. If not in jail, he should have been sentenced to death, because that is the level of crime that he has committed. He's had two mortgage companies, which did completely illegal acts, and basically made well over a million homeowners homeless, destitute, and now have legal problems, legal financial problems, even though they lost everything, including their life savings. So this is the same guy who's now serving in Washington in Trump's administration, going on Fox, saying that, well, it's just a lone wolf. It's just a lone crazy, and that it's only this crazy person that this evil crazy person that did the action. When in fact that is not the case. Fox pushes it. Breitbart pushes it. The Daily Stormer and all those right wing channels, right wing propaganda, violence. Traders, violence pushers, just like destructive drug pushers. Um, these these and Trump definitely pushes this. He's committing treason because we went to a war. We went to a war, and even though much of that, the Civil War is actually propaganda, because a lot of the reasons that they state are rosy and 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 fairy tale and rainbows and so on and so forth. Because the plain fact of the matter is that it wasn't about slavery. It was about it was about wealth. It was about wealth and keeping power. And while slavery did play a part, so I'm not saying that slavery did not play a part, but the root reason behind it wasn't to emancipate, wasn't to give rights to black Americans who've been brutalized. It was a power play. That is what it was. It was a power play. It was a power play from the power players. It was an infighting between the power players. That's what it comes down to. Those who believe themselves to be the rulers. That was the game they were playing, and they would stop at nothing to get people to pick sides while they sat behind in safety. That is what happened. And black people know that slavery hasn't really ended, and the demagoguery and the bigotry has never stopped, and that they are still on virtually anything that's substantial matters, are slaves in all but name. Minorities know that they are all but slaves in but name. The indigenous know this. Their sovereignty is toilet paper. The treaty that gives them sovereignty is toilet paper. They know this. Trump and the media, not just Fox either, or the right wing, it is the liberal, so-called liberal media. NBC, CBS, ABC, MSNBC, CNBC, Fox, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, all the big heavy hitters, all the ones who take in the money generated from the kitty that's called the American public to spread the propaganda and to invest division and diversion. That is, in fact, what it is. It is your Republican Party. It is your corporate Democrats. It is your companies that own entertainment who push all of it. Not only push it, but they've in the matter of Hollywood and entertainment, they have exported it. Just as the international so-called news media coming from the West has pushed and exported. It is because politicians equal to me criminals and liars. And that's a truth. It's not just my subjective feelings on it. Every concrete, substantial evidence points to this. And the only reason you deny it is because you are letting your fears or the propaganda or you are willingly ignorant and willfully ignorant. So So there is a conspiracy, but the conspiracy is that of the ruling few, the ruling entitled few, the criminal entitled few, who believe themselves to be nobility and outside of class because they are the only true humans. That is their insane belief. They believe themselves to have divine right to rule however they see fit. And they the more they suppress and oppress, the safer they are. That is their belief. Inequality is baked in to their ideology. It is baked into their system. They are the world-class, monstrous evil. The criminal elites. You know, I was watching an interesting video, and it's a gentleman who has a doctorate PhD on political science and political philosophy. His name is Dr. Michael Parenti, and I don't have a doctorate, but that's what I talk about always on my channel. That is what I state. I do not state it in uh, in in any misinterpreted form. I come out and state it in bald face, blunt ways because I don't want, I don't need, and I cannot state it without being true to the truths and facts. I state it here and now. I hate these. I hate them. They should all be eradicated from the face of the planet for our collective safety. We should take those who buy into it and we should aggressively go to bleeding out this infection from them. And if they cannot be turned, they should be put away and made to rely upon themselves when they're put away. Watch my video on what I believe should be done with violent criminals. And the racists, the white supremacists, are violent terrorist criminals. They should be subjected to reliance on themselves. They should be put away behind a wall while given the resources to take care of themselves so they understand. So they understand what it is they should really be concerned about. This is what must be done. We must instill fear of death. The pitchforks must come out. We must drag these villains out of their homes and make them pay for the millions upon millions upon millions that they have committed atrocities after atrocities after atrocities. This is not a new phenomenon. This is a phenomenon that has been going on for millennia. It is not acceptable. We must be intolerant. We must be intolerant. of the intolerable.